Becky, Westchester, New York, the great WABC. Go.
Yes, Mark, I'm vacillating between rage and extreme fear. I know that you said that they could turn this into a treaty and...
No, I said they should, but they won't.
Okay, but this is what I'm asking. Who is Bob Corker not to listen to the will of the people? We do not want this. Why can't we start dumping letter after letter after letter?
Well, I would encourage you to do it if I thought it would work. I don't think it's going to work.
You know, I'm second generation of the greatest generation, the generation that they said ordinary men did extraordinary things. I just can't accept that there's nothing that we, the people, can't
Okay,
do.
well then tell us what to do.
No, I'm calling you for you to tell us.
I know, but I'm not King Solomon. Seriously, I've put out in the course of my career on the radio more solutions and ideas than any other host in America. I've actually written books about it and articles about it and so forth and so on. If people don't listen to me and people don't do what I suggest, what am I supposed to do?
No.
But I'm saying if I could snap my fingers and turn this fool Corker around, I'd do it in 2 seconds. You talked about ordinary citizens doing extraordinary things. We have ordinary citizens who don't do a damn thing, and they get elected to the Senate.
You're right.
It's like McCain is up in Arizona. Now, what's Arizona going to do? What do the people of Arizona do? Send him for the 7th time or 6th time? I mean, and then people wonder, well, how do we get here? What are we going to do? Apparently nothing. And that's the easiest thing to do. When I argue for a convention of the states, that really takes people really getting their dirt under their fingernails, becoming activists and working on it, but people would rather throw up their hands.
But you have, 3 million listeners? I don't know how many listeners you have. If each one of your listeners wrote a letter...
Okay, I have 7.5, 8 million. Nobody really knows. If each one of them wrote, do you know how many times we've heard that on this show, or Rush has heard it, or Hannity, or others? So,
meaning people won't do it, or it won't have any impact.
I'm trying to explain to you that I could do this and beat my head against the wall for the next 60 days, and it's not going to turn this around. It's not my fault. It's not on my shoulders. I brought this up when something could be done about it, Becky. And I bet, and not to be offensive, you and others did nothing. I said, when Corker was pushing this bill, that we have to kill this thing. He is surrendering the treaty provision of the Constitution. I raged about it day in and day out. Day in and day out. That's all I can do. I don't have any additional power. If millions of people decide to do something about it, great. Great. But here's the other problem, Becky. So much of what goes on in Washington is a disconnect from the people. And so they lie to us. They lie to us. They say, we could never have stopped this if it was a treaty. Now we're going to treat it as a statute so we can actually have 60 days to look at it. And they spin it. And they go on cable shows that help them spin it. So a lot of people, in fairness, are confounded by this. They're confused by this. The answer is Bob Corker and the rest of them didn't have the guts to say no to Obama when they could. And now they have to pretend they're saying no to Obama when they can't. It's too late. He's going to the UN. And I know people are upset with me right now. They are furious with me right now. But if you want to call your member of Congress, you want to call your senator, go ahead, call them. If we can get 67 senators and 2/3 of the House to override a presidential veto, great, let's do it.
Is there a website that...
All right, thanks for your call. I mean, a website. What am I, 411? Is there a website? I don't know if there's a website. I mean, people, you have to think for themselves. You have to act for... people will go on Google to get the best price they can for anything. They'll go on the Internet, and they will go on the Internet. They will spend hours and hours and hours. And look, I paid $3.99 for that. It used to be $4.29. Look what I got. And meanwhile, Mark, can you tell us what website? Mark, can you tell us what to do? Mark, can you tell us what... I have said what we need to do. And there's nothing else I can do. I can't go up there and wring Bob Corker's neck. What do you want me to do? Now, we're going to be talking about issues that are coming up, and I'm going to pound away on them, and I'm serious about what I bring up. And we're ahead of the ball here. We're ahead of the game. And when the time comes to endorse somebody for President of the United States, I hope people will listen to me. But if they don't listen to me and then they call up, Mark, what can we do? What am I supposed to do? This is a republic, what's left of it. One talk show host can't change things. He can encourage you to change things. Look, if I could change things, Obama wouldn't be president. McConnell wouldn't be majority leader. Boehner wouldn't be speaker. How successful have I been? If I could change things, this convention of the states would be well underway. But I can't. Maybe I have some influence in some cases, some races, some issues, and I'll make my case regardless. There's 320 million people in this country. I have 8.5 million listeners. There's 320 million people in this country. But I'll tell you why I get frustrated. Bear with me a second. Some of you are saying, why are you so... I'm going to tell you why. When I was a kid and I saw things going on in my community that infuriated me, I never called a talk show host and said, what can we do, what can we do? I got off my butt, despite going to law school, and I ran for office, and I ran against the Republican Party. And then I formed my own group, the Committee for Tax Limitation. I was 19 years old. Then I got elected with the highest vote total of all. I knew that I would have to act. So when I have people calling me, what can we do? It frustrates me. We've got more opportunities to do more now. We have taxpayer groups. We have conservative groups. We have other entities and ways to voice ourselves. You can be honest with yourself and say, well, what have I done? What have I done for the cause?